All right, everybody, we're live on a Sunday. We always said if there was some breaking news for the community that we would go live and spill it. So there's some what K-Pro thinks is breaking news. We'll let you decide. So remember, don't kill the messenger here. We're just the messengers. You guys decide what to do with it, and you can email K-Pro. All right, I don't know. We got a couple things. I don't know what we're doing first. Go ahead, K-Pro.
Why are we talking about killing, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So there is a couple of things that we want to present, or I want to present. Mike is just here.
I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay, so here's I'm going to give this disclaimer up front. I did not record any of these. These are not my sourced information, like comes from me. So I did get these things from others. The things that came from others, you are going to need to decide if you believe them. Are they? I don't believe I am in good faith telling you, I don't believe they're edited. I believe they're authentic. I believe all of it is as it seems, but nothing is as it seems in this chase. So I'm just going to say up front, that's my disclaimer. Don't shoot the messenger, but we're not shooting anybody. We're not shooting. No, this is just, it seems that there has been more to this ending, and
was GPS correct? No, that's not the breaking news. But before we get to that, anybody that's in the path of the hurricane, anybody in Southern California, I hear there was an earthquake in California. We hope you're doing all right. And yeah, hang in there. Things will get better. Okay.
Okay. So this will be interesting. I have the windows open because it's so cool now. It's dropped like 40 degrees, 30 degrees. So there's no screen. So I may have a little bird because a little bird keeps coming in. So, and did you see who moved?
She's got her hand stuck in the cookie jar, just like
K-Pro. Sure does. Okay. So I'm going to tee this off with the first thing. We're going to present several things. I hope in kind of a coherent path of logic. So we have a couple things to share. The first is going to be an interview that Cynthia conducted. If you don't know who Cynthia Meacham is, get off the channel because you're crazy. Everyone knows Cynthia, and you may know someone named Dale Neitzel. She has just spent the last few days with him, and somehow she convinced him to do a little interview. And so you are going to hear a 4-minute interview. And this is where I'm going to give credit up front, and I'll hopefully say it at the end. This is what sparked several other things to happen that now I think is going to make more breaking news, even though there's some pretty cool stuff that Dale said. So would you please?
So this is the conversation between Dale and Cynthia, right?
Dale and Cynthia, the 4-minute video, please.
Was this yesterday or today? Do you know when? Like recent, right?
Oh, in the last 2 days. I got it, I think, yesterday. We were going to show it on the Monday show. Monday is going to probably just be for what are you guys thinking about all this? We're presenting some of the factual stuff today, most of it today, and we'll do the conjecture and discussion tomorrow. And of course, there's chat for you guys to discuss in chat.
You mean we got to go live again tomorrow?
Yes, we're going live again tomorrow.
All right, here we go. Dale and Cynthia. Sorry about the noise.
So Dale, when we were just talking at lunch, and I'm going to record this now so the search community can hear one of your stories. We started talking about the interview from 2019 where Forrest mentioned the $100 bill and the $500 bill, or the $1,000 bill. 500 and 1,000.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate?
Well, what went on before that was Forrest was using that as to illustrate why the chase was important. He said, if I wanted to just give money away, I could put a $1,000 bill or a $500 bill in my mailbox, you know. But the chase, the hunt, the treasure hunt makes it fun and exciting and lets everybody participate.
And this was basically after he also had talked on that video or the audio where he said about he didn't want the finder to come forward. It'd be easier for Forrest if the finder would stay anonymous. He just wanted him to stop. Right. And then I think it went into the second poem. And do you want to talk anything more about the second poem?
I wish I had. I don't have anything really to elaborate. It was just that Forrest said there was a second poem in the chest. It was my way of, it was he was giving me some information about a way to verify if the chest had really been found or if someone was just trying to hose us. And so he said,
Hose
you
us.
will know, there will be a second poem, and ask them to read the second. Somebody tells you they found the chest, ask them what the second poem says. And I said, well, how will I know, you know, if you wrote it? He said, you will recognize it. You will know that I wrote that. Okay. And that was all he said. So I really don't know anything about what the poem said. I only know that somehow I would recognize it as Forrest's poem. And that would be my verification that the person who claimed they found the chest really found the chest.
Good. Okay, so cool. And then the other thing that we just talked about in a little bit of detail when we were at lunch was you talked about having an interview with Shiloh. Do you remember the time frame, or and you're going to try to find it?
Yeah,
Is there,
so
just briefly?
so basically, it was when we were over at San Lorenzo, Forrest's Pueblo, and Shiloh was with us. And I turned on the recorder. Shiloh and I were sitting back. Forrest wasn't with us. It was, I mean, he was with us at the Pueblo, but Forrest was off doing something else. And it was Shiloh and we were talking about the chase. And I think you'd be surprised at what Shiloh had to say at that time. I am going to look for that. And when I find it, I'll make sure you guys get it so you can release it to everyone.
Okay, very good. Folks, Dale has been talking to me nonstop for 3 days. This is one of the things I got him to talk about with me recording. He knows I'm recording this. This was not secretly recorded. So there you go, guys. You got almost 4 minutes of something new from Dale.
Okay. Well, first off, thank you to Cynthia for sending that to us. Thank you to Dale for letting her record it. And he knows that we were going to play that. And I think it's breaking news. I mean, I know we talked about Dale saying there was a second poem before, but to hear him say it, to hear him recount the conversation and say second poem, I think it's pretty clear it's not the original poem. Forrest said there's a second poem and you will know. I think it's interesting. What do you think, Kate?
Yeah, well, there's a couple things here. One, Cynthia said she's been with Dale for 3 days.
Mhm.
She called me 2 days ago and was like, my head is exploding. So there was a lot of discussions going on. And these are a couple of the highlights. Some people said, no, it's just a poem. It's not a second poem. He didn't say second poem. He just said, read me the poem. And the poem is the TTOTC as I've gone alone in there. I think this shows, no, that's not the case. There was a second poem. The other thing is, I think it's super interesting that we're going to hear a Shiloh interview that Dale took. And so I think I'm looking forward to, and this would have been pre-find, what interview that Dale has with Shiloh. So I think there's a couple of pretty cool things. But this is what started Cynthia's, the wheel turning, and really got her to start thinking about second poem. If it wasn't in there, and we reference to Justin's AMA, there's kind of a perfect storm of things that happen. And Justin shared in his AMA, he had a certified document or official contract that said Jack sold him everything that was in the treasure chest. There wasn't anything missing out of it. Then you add in where Justin says he can't recall the conversation with Cynthia about looking under the wood, but the can't recall was his official answer. They had already had that discussion. And I asked him, do you have a big reveal coming? This was yesterday. And he said, if I did, I wouldn't say it, smiley face. And he did keep going on about he doesn't want to break the lid. It doesn't seem like the lid could easily be removed. So this then got Cynthia thinking, and I want to first play the Douglas Preston interview. We're kind of teeing up what was happening in Cynthia's mind, where the Dale conversation, second poem, and then now let's transition to a couple of other things, was all culminating in that brain of hers. and then there was a result to that. So can you play the Douglas Preston interview first?
Give me a minute. It keeps this. I open it, get it ready, and then it disappears. So I got to reopen it again. But I
Okay.
will say this: now that Forrest did say there was a second poem, if you logically think about, well, where is it? There's only one of a couple possibilities. Number one, Jack took it and lied. That's a possibility. I don't think that happened, but it's number one. Number two, it's in the olive jar, and we haven't heard about it yet. Number three, when the stick blew in, the poem blew out. I don't believe that either. And number four, it's hidden in the treasure chest somehow.
Yeah.
What do you think about those four? Is there another possibility I'm not thinking of?
No, those are good. Since we've already heard what's coming up, I'm going to lean towards, I don't know. Let's keep going. Yes, those are the possibilities. If the chat has other possibilities, I don't know.
Okay.
A squirrel took it. A bear took it. I mean,
Somebody took it. All right, here. We're gonna show this, right? Okay. Boom. Here we go. Boom, boom. All right, here we go.
the reason for stanzas 1, 5, and 6.
I'm not gonna talk about that. You're trying to back me up into blind canyon. Yeah, you are. I know your type.
So basically, you ask him, you say, if the clues are in 3, 4, and 5, what's the reason for 1, 5, and 6? And he won't answer.
And he won't answer. And at the time, it seemed pretty benign, but now I'm starting to put this down because I can't see anything.
Yeah.
So those are the types of things. And you think second poem, the poem wasn't in there. Jack has said that he's put it in full. So Cynthia started thinking, that was the catalyst of what started thinking Cynthia about stanza 5. If you've been brave and in the wood, inside the treasure chest wood. Forrest has said there's one item that no one knows about, and it's only for the finder. And we've seen all the contents, supposedly, and there's not the one item. We can't figure it out. Well, Cynthia and Justin had a little conversation this morning. So she left me a voicemail. Every time my phone goes off, I'm in a different room than my phone is. And so when I came back, she basically had said Justin had figured out a compartment of the wood in the treasure chest and was beginning to remove it. And I want to play that because what I was told was there's going to be out a video today of Justin getting into the compartment. Put out breaking news. You're going to have that video tonight.
Yeah, okay. I'll let people decide for themselves. I don't know if that's exactly what was said, but
Okay, you'll see exactly what he says.
Yeah.
And I put out the breaking news, and then Mike had a bit of a conversation with Justin, and you will not see that video. The video is being recorded as Cynthia and I spoke. That's what she thought was coming. There was enough other people and other pieces of this. We're going to put out what we have, and then we're going to talk about it, and then hopefully the video comes by tomorrow. Okay. So play the voicemail. So this is Cynthia, who has teed up to me that she was talking on the phone with Justin as he figured out how to open the wood without breaking it on the bottom side of the chest. And it started coming, and she had to get off to video it, but she was on the phone with him when he figured out how to do it. So this is the voicemail I got, and I think you can kind of hear her excitement. That's my opinion, but go ahead, Mike.
all right, check it out. Let me know if you guys can hear this. You should be able to.
Oh my God, Kirsty, you have to call me. Except I'm up at Mount Baker and I only have a signal here to truck. I just was talking to Justin live on the phone. I kept saying about, have you looked under the lid? Looked under the lid. He said, no, he's afraid to. And then I said about how if you are brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. And he said, well, let me look at the side panels in the chest. They are built to come out. He slid one up, the other side up. The back one will fall out. He can actually take the bottom panel out of the bottom of the chest. And then I said, do you realize that David Old, Shiloh's dad, is the one that made the lining? And he said, no, he didn't know it. I said, Shiloh would know. Maybe that's why he wanted to buy the chest. They know that there's something else in under the liners. Okay. I told Justin, I'm telling you this.
So yeah, Justin knows we were going to go live and talk about it. So just make sure that's clear. But there's a couple things to talk about here. Number one, when you say compartment, nobody said there was a compartment. It was just the wood comes out of the bottom of the chest, right? I want to make.
So the wood was built to come out is how, yeah,
Right.
that was the wording.
Yeah.
The wood was built to come out, the sides come off, and you can take the bottom out. And
Yeah.
Cynthia says it's common knowledge that David Old from Old Wood is the one that made the wood lining. I never knew that.
I never knew that either. I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Now,
For me, I always thought the chest came with the wood in it when Forrest bought it. I didn't know the wood was added later. It never occurred to me. So apparently that's not the case. Do people know this, that the wood lining was added by Forrest, or Forrest, according to this audio, maybe asked Shiloh's dad to create the lining and then either he put it in or Forrest put it in. We don't know. But
Well,
that's
now-
breaking news. I didn't know about any of that.
now let's recall the dinner that I was having with Carl and Cynthia the night of the McCracken trial. That
Okay.
right after it was over, we were celebrating and Shiloh came and he talked about his book.
Mhm.
And I've said this before. He said there was 3 parts to his book. He was going to talk about the provenance of the items in the chest. He was going to put in some Forrest stories. And he was going to put, there was a section about his father. And I thought, that's a little odd that he's going to put a story about his father. And he said, and I've already mentioned this many, many, many times, but this now comes full circle. If David is the one that made this wood that was built to come out of the treasure chest and take the pieces come off and you're able to get into it,
All right.
that may be, and he said, if you think Forrest was amazing, wait until you hear the story of my father. And I just thought it was so odd that I thought, what does that have to do with the chase? It could be, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying now we're taking some things that seem to be outliers and not make sense
All right.
and put it together. Put it,
We got to do a poll because Cynthia said it's common knowledge that Shiloh's dad created the wood. Is that common knowledge? Has anybody heard that before? So I'm going to say, did you know that Shiloh's dad, and I'll just say created the wood panels for the chest, because we don't know really more than that, but for Forrest Fenn's treasure chest. I've never heard that before. Have you?
I have not.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting
So
if
it's a
some
yes,
old
no
timers,
question.
maybe it was something known early on. See, everybody's saying no, no, never, never, never negative.
Well, somebody probably needs to ask Shiloh, I would say, because I've never heard that before. Now, I don't think Cynthia's lying. I think she's heard it and she just assumed everybody else knew it. So the poll's up. Did you know that Shiloh's dad created the wood panels for the inside of Forrest Fenn's treasure chest?
Okay,
So-
let's let that go for a
Yeah.
little bit.
Okay.
So now add on to this. If you guys see Cynthia normally when she calls me, it's like when she's on video. She's very pretty calm and pretty slow in her discussion. Slow meaning she doesn't talk fast like I do. That voicemail was not on 2 times. That was the voicemail.
Yeah.
I think she was genuinely excited. For some of you that might say, I got a call from Cynthia and she's contrived this story with Justin or without Justin just to try to make you look silly. It sounds to me like she was being genuine, that she was excited, that she had just gotten this information. Do you agree, Mike?
Oh, of course she was excited. Yeah. Cynthia gets excited about anything having to do with the treasure chest, which is
Not
fine.
like that. Not like that.
Well, I mean, think about it. Shiloh and his father have a wood company. Like, it makes sense if Forrest wanted to line the treasure chest with wood, that he would go to them, doesn't it? I mean,
Do you
I don't
see?
think it's a crazy idea.
Cynthia's the yes and everyone else is.
Oh, is that Cynthia? I'd say, yeah, 98% is no. So Cynthia, where did you hear it? Everybody wants to know. Now, maybe you heard it from Forrest. Maybe you heard it from somebody else. But
She'll
anyway,
probably have to check her files and things.
let's go back a step back, because somebody in the chat said, well, why would Forrest have to put a second poem in the treasure chest? Why couldn't whoever finds it just give us a picture? Well, the problem is if Forrest is gone and then Jack says, look, I found the treasure chest, everybody would say it's photoshopped, because we don't know what the treasure chest was supposed to look like. If he showed that dirty picture of the chest with all the cobwebs and dust, people would be like, that's not fake. Nobody would believe him. So that's why Forrest was very smart in saying, I put a way for people to know. And he told us there's a way you'll know. In our interview, we said, when you're gone, how do we know it's found? He said, there's a way you'll know, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. So apparently he told Dale what it is. And I think it was Covert One, hey, Covert One, in the chat, who said, well, when did he tell Dale this? Do we have any idea? I think Dale said it. I just don't remember when, but it was a good couple of years ago when Forrest told Dale about the second poem.
October 17, 2019.
October 17th, 2019. You can't get more specific than that. Before it was found. So I think Forrest was just saying, hey, Dale, if I'm gone, there is a way you'll know. And then, of course, Dale is like, how do I know it's your poem? And he's like, you'll know. You'll know I wrote it. Now, like I said before, there's only 4 possibilities. Forrest was lying. There is a 5th possibility. Forrest was lying, which I don't believe. It blew out when the stick blew in. I don't believe. Jack took it and lied. I don't believe that either. So either it's in the olive jar, or it's hidden in the chest, or Justin has it and is lying. That's a 6th possibility, but I don't believe that either.
But here, do you believe that if this was a chest that was supposed to hold just the treasure, do you think you should just be able to, he was removing them with his fingers. They were not bolted in or anything.
So what he told me was, because I text Justin, and when we heard this from Cynthia, and I said, poem or no poem, just tell me. And what he said was the wood is very brittle and he doesn't want to break it. So he hasn't actually opened up the bottom yet. That's what he told me a couple hours ago. So he probably has since then. And will he make a video of him doing this and show it? I hope so, because everybody's going to be interested to watch that. So Justin, I hope you do make that video, whether there's a poem or no poem. People are going to want to know. But my question would be, why did Forrest line it with wood? Why did he have the idea of just?
Oh, he could have a secret compartment where he puts the secret second treasure. Here is where I'm going to have to say Candy may be right. There was a secret compartment that held the title to whatever. Is it title to San Lazaro? Is it title to the $1 million that Shiloh said his family is now out? No, Shiloh said his family is out $1 million. Is there an IOU for $1 million? And let me give you just a couple things that Forrest said the treasure is buried where you're not going to find it. Is there a second location? I don't know. I'm just asking this question. I'm not saying this. He said there's one item that no one knows about. We knew about the olive jar. In my opinion, there's an item we don't know about. When we talk about double omegas or the 10th clue, why was 5 and 6 there? Now, did Forrest discuss the wood with anyone in the search community? It isn't buried. It was buried at night. Okay. Maybe it wasn't buried, misconstrued.
It's buried up to the lid, put it that way. So that's why Forrest wouldn't answer the question.
It is unreal. I agree with you. Unreal is a good word.
Semantics. Yeah.
Okay, so can you bring up
why there's a second poem? Go ahead.
Can you bring up Stephanie's email? I have permission to share this.
Stephanie's email. We're just going way. All right, here we go. So this is from Forrest Fenn to Stephanie, who is TY Blossom, if you didn't know that, on 8/28/2011, way back. Did you see Santa over my head? No, sorry, that's an Xavier Marks reference. Way back in 2011, Ty Blossom. So Forrest Fenn says to Stephanie, the chest does have a thin wooden liner, and certainly it will get wet and expand. I thought of that when I was preparing it. Some things I wanted in the chest were left out because parts of them would rust, like small steel screws on jewelry and such. F. So right there is a wood liner in the chest. And right there, he says he prepared it when he was preparing it. So obviously it didn't come with the treasure chest, as I always assumed.
I always assumed.
And put that wood in the treasure chest. We now, according to Cynthia, he got the wood from Shiloh's dad. Don't know,
Shiloh's dad made the secret compartment.
Yeah. And then that's it. So now Justin says he realizes the side we always thought it would be in the lid.
Right.
He didn't say anything about the lid being able to come off, but he says the side panels lift up and you can lift the bottom of the chest up. Is there something underneath it? We're waiting to hear from Justin if he will show us that video so we can all see once and for all.
I think preparing means filling the wood. He was talking about the wood.
Maybe he treated the wood. You know how you stain a deck for weather? Maybe he stained the wood. I mean,
maybe his dad did, who is in the business of wood. He owned
they would know. Yeah.
Old wood company.
If Forrest said, hey, I'm going to put wood in this treasure chest, it's got to last 100 years, they would have treated that wood, I would assume. A certain
So
way.
I was hoping when I got the, hey, breaking news, I thought the video would be out by now. The video is being, I don't know, pieces of it were coming out when he was on the phone with Cynthia. Cynthia was super excited. You can hear it in her voice. So it sounds like hopefully by tomorrow's show, we will have a video that will be on Twitter. So it's not just us, it's everyone.
Check
so
Twitter.
again, this is Cynthia's voicemail. This is Justin and Cynthia talking, secondhand, third-hand information. This was Dale and Cynthia that were discussing the interview about this Shiloh. It sounds like we have a Shiloh interview coming, which is, I think, super exciting. But he did confirm there was a second poem. Add all that together, I think our next 24, no pressure, Justin, work all night, buddy. Work all night. Work all night.
Well, there's two things I want to bring up. One, if there was a second poem in the chest when Jack was in the conference room with Forrest and all the contents were on the table, why didn't they talk about it? Or could they have, and they just didn't tell anybody about it? In other words, if Jack never found a poem, why wouldn't Forrest say, hey, did you read the poem? Or, you know what I mean? Why wasn't it brought up?
I'm going to guess here.
Yeah, it's a guess.
It's a total guess. So he's sitting, maybe Forrest turns and goes, so what are you going to do with this? Oh, I'm not even keeping it with me. It's going with my lawyer into a vault. I'm selling it. I moved to Puerto Rico. I don't really care about it. I'm not really a collector. He said that in his remembrance. He's not a collector in any way. I bet you Forrest went, then if he's not even going to be around it, I'm going to let the next owner find it. And oh, by the way, Forrest's family made sure Justin got it.
So it's either in the olive jar or hidden in the chest would be my guess. I believe Dale when he says there's a second poem. I know some people say Dale made it up, but I don't believe that.
Not
What?
in the olive jar.
Not in the olive jar. Well,
in
for
the
whoever
treasure
opened the
chest.
olive jar, if they did, that's never been public to everybody. So
the
we don't know
treasure
what's in the olive jar.
It's in the wood. What's the reason?
I hope
Okay,
so.
if it was
I
in
hope
the olive jar, what is the reasons for stanza 5 and 6? In the wood. If you're brave it in the wood, you got to get in the wood.
Give you title to the gold. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. The name of the poem, the title of the poem could be title to the gold, and there's whatever. So I hope it's there. I hope there's something there. Even if it's not a
Hold
poem,
on.
I hope there's
Cynthia
something.
Beecham, what about the email from Justin to Mike? She talks about, what about the dirt? You said there was something about dirt, he said?
Okay. What Justin said was, I said, if you poem or no poem, and he said, I haven't lifted it yet. He said the wood is brittle and he doesn't want to break it. So he's got to be very careful how he does it. He can't just pull it out.
Yes.
But he did say that he does see that there's wood in between the wood and the bronze. So he doesn't think Jack opened it because there's dirt in there. So there you go. Jack's probably watching this going, what? Son of a
Now,
yeah.
this is a poll I would like you to do. Let's look at the last poll. 4% said yes. Okay, that's higher than I thought it would be. And 96% no. If you could do a second poll, if you found the treasure chest, would you have thought about looking under the wood?
Man, if I had that, man.
Let's put a poll up. I have to tell you, absolutely not. I thought it wasn't. Now, someone said, once I found out that it wasn't a 12th century antique, it was a 19th century crappy thing. And let's even go to that. So Forrest is we're trying to believe that Forrest as a collector did not try to get provenance, did not research and paid $25,000 for the chest and got duped. I don't know if I believe that, but would you have, before all of this, would you, if you would have found it, looked behind the wood paneling? Would you look?
Yeah, I put up the poll. Would you have looked under the wood? So Bismarck says, but how did the finder get the gold without the title to the gold? So we don't think it's a physical title to the gold. Forrest said, if you find it, you keep it. We think it's a poem that was titled title to the gold.
No. What is his gold? What is he compelled to do?
Yeah.
Fishing and collecting. Those are the two things he said.
Do you think
So
there's
what if
something else? Go ahead.
So what if you do the 9 clues, get to the other box that has a compartment underneath, and then the title is San Lazaro.
But he sold that. Or something. Maybe there's a title to something. Wouldn't that be cool if there was?
Right?
Um,
And that's maybe why the family is so upset that they've lost $1 million to this treasure hunt. What if it's $1 million IOU that's in the trust that would have been his family if the finder didn't look under the wood?
Well, I should have queued it up, but in our interview, we talk about the poem and he says, oh, that sounds like subchapter S's. Remember? That sounds like a legal document. Could that be an actual title? It's far-fetched, but I wouldn't put it past Forrest to do something like that. So Bismarck says a title would get wet and ruined. That's true. Now, could it be in one of the Ziploc bags?
Could it be laminated?
Could it be on? Yeah, right. That's true. We don't know. We don't know what we
Could
don't
it be
know.
on a plate, a steel plate that is engraved?
Right. So basically, Justin, if you can videotape it and open it, and let us all see it, that we would appreciate it. It would put all the speculation to rest, And I understand him not wanting to damage it. You don't want to rip apart the wood.
Oh, USA Soccer. Candy was talking about a compartment for so long and it intrigued me. We're never gonna hear the end of it, guys. Candy may have been right, but that's stands at 5 and 6.
Wow, that's breaking news. I never thought K-Pro would have said that. You can engrave wood and seal it. That's true. Maybe it's on the underside of the wood.
And that's why it's so important not to break it. Break it, Justin.
He wouldn't have had Shiloh's dad do that, would he? Like engrave the poem and then seal it, and then
Now,
it
now
was
going
Shiloh's
back,
epic and fun. and-
that's going back to say epic and fun. If Shiloh was going to be revealing, whoever has a treasure chest, guys, there's $1 million in a secret compartment under the wood. And here's my dad's story of how he developed the puzzle box where he took the sides up and then this pops off. That is pretty epic and
Even
fun.
if it's just a note from Forrest, I'm not even worried about a title to something or there's more gold. It's just even if
Right.
there's a note from Forrest, that's pretty awesome. My only question would be, why would Shiloh wait so long? I understand he would want it in the book, but why would he wait so long? It's been 3 years. Why wouldn't he just say it or something? Tell us in some way. I don't know. What are you looking at?
I don't understand what Hooli's saying. She's posted it a couple times. Shui Sugi ban is charged same as the.
Oh, you all right, Uli? What the hell are you talking about?
She's posted it like at least a couple times, and I'm like, is that
Sure that's Uli? We sure she hasn't got hacked somehow?
is that secret code
You do.
or?
All
I mean,
right.
she has the blue wrench, so I think it has to be Hooli.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
Okay, so William asks, so does the family have a list of contents that was supposed to be in the chest? William, if you watched Chasing the Maverick, you know that he said, I have a whole list of inventory of the items he put in the chest. So my guess is I had not seen this. I'm going by Forrest's words. I would say yes.
Wood treatment to preserve wood. Japanese. Oh, it's a Japanese technique to preserve wood. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, okay.
Shiloh and his father do wood floors. They understand wood. I'm sure they do decks, outdoor
Well,
decks.
now add in Shiloh is doing a chase book. And I'm going, why would the big story be David? He said, if you think my grandfather is awesome or special or whatever, wait until you see about my dad in this book. And I thought, what? And I did talk to a searcher. Like, he has an amazing life story. If you've seen him on there's like a Wood video about him and Shiloh. He has a very interesting background with Japanese, and he lived in Japan for a while or speaks Japanese. I'm not sure all the and I was like, what does that have to do with the chase? Now, if the big part of Shiloh's book is his dad and it's chase related, it could be this.
So Huli put a link to, there's a method of wood preservation. It's called burnt timber cladding, also known as shugi ban. That's what the weird words she put.
Oh, wait. And it's a Japanese technique, and his dad either speaks Japanese or lived in Japan.
Oh, is that right? Ah.
Yes.
All right. So I would just say this to Shiloh, if he watches this, if that's what it is, if your surprise was ruined and that's what it is, your father knows what's on the other side of the bottom of the chest. It's okay. Just, I would acknowledge it. I would tell everybody, yes, that's what it is. And then we'll wait for your book to find out what it is. If Justin doesn't show it, we're still going to buy your book. It doesn't ruin the surprise. It gave the surprise. It's not a surprise anymore. That's all. But everybody's still going to, if that's what it is in your book, if you have a chapter about the second poem, I mean, that's huge. Everybody's going to buy your book to read that. So but I would acknowledge it if that's the case. I would say, yes, it does have to do with my father and how he built the wood. I would just tell people.
He already
my
kind of
opinion.
told us, but yes, it'd be nice to have confirmation of it. It's already, yeah,
Confirmation.
super
And,
cool.
David Old, if you want to come on the show, it's always an open invitation.
Yeah. let's not-
No, that's pretty cool. But it's really on Justin now to open it and tell us, is there anything on the bottom of that wooden liner on the bottom or not? Is there a note? Is there anything, anything thin could be put under there, I guess. So wouldn't we know by now if anything was under the panel? Well, if nobody's opened it, why would we know?
So Jack had it for what, 4 or 5 days? Actually, he took it from Wyoming straight down to Santa Fe. He was only with it 4 or 5 days, and he was cleaning what? He was cleaning he was cleaning it and messing it up, and he never had it in his possession again. It sat in a vault for almost 2 years, over 2
4
years.
years.
Now, Justin having it for 9 months. Now, here's what's super interesting, and here's where I'll just give a little conjecture. Justin hasn't spoken for 9 months. He did an AMA, and before the AMA even started, the very first question from Ben, who had communication with Justin to start this AMA on Discord, he said, have you looked behind the wood? And it's
Right.
like, is that a coincidence that magically Ben knew before the AMA started to ask that question? And the day before, when I said about the second poem and Cynthia said, ask Justin, she had this conversation with Justin that he can't recall, that there was something behind the wood. Now, whether it's the lid or the bottom, isn't it open?
Oh,
It's
two
been a
things.
big week.
Two things. Cynthia says, K-Pro, I just said, Forrest told me David Old made the liner. So Cynthia got it from Forrest. So that mystery is put to rest. And number two, if there is something under the lid, is it going to be given to Netflix and we have to wait for the doc? I
From
mean,
what
if
I
Justin just
understand-
today opens it and finds something, is he obligated to share that? How does that work?
I asked that question to Cynthia and she said, no, he's putting it on Twitter. It's
Oh,
going to be there, today. And I said, I don't want to promise it today if it's not coming today. And that's why I just said it's coming soon. And hopefully we'll have it by tomorrow.
Whoops. Well, there you go, everybody. It will be on Twitter. Justin Posey on Twitter. He's
Hey.
going to show the video from what we hear. Here's
Somewhere
the
out there
poll.
says, what the hell? Why did Dale wait so long to spill this? Spill what? He didn't spill, and he said the second poem thing,
He
what, a
said it
year
a
ago?
long time ago.
Yeah.
A lot
No
of people
one
don't
believed
believe
it because we only heard it in an email or read it in an email. No one believed him.
Well,
He had said it.
when Dale says I had a conversation with Shiloh and I'll see if I can find it. What if that was about the wood? What if that was about his dad or the liner? So Dale, we're waiting on that one. If you can find it, send it to us so we can show it for everybody. There's Justin's Twitter in the chat, who we just put it there. And if you don't know, Justin has showed pictures of the chest, the inside, the outside. That's how we all found out it says made in France on the bottom, bronze, etc. And he says he's going to put up a video of him looking under the bottom of the chest. And then the poll we put up, which was, would you look under the wood of Forrest?
Liars.
62% say yes and 38% say no.
Liars. No,
I mean,
but maybe I'm just not. Yeah, obviously.
Thing
I'm
is
not
probably too heavy to shake it. Like, is there something in there? It's probably too heavy to do that. So I just don't know if I would think about
But
it.
someone said to me, yes, and Justin shared a lot of the inner pictures, which is awesome. Thank you. Someone said to me, when it was a 12th century antique chest, you wouldn't want to break the wood. It's not, it's David's. It doesn't add any value. Rip that up, Justin. It doesn't matter. The wood doesn't matter anymore. Right? Right?
I think could be underneath it is more important than the wood. So
Are we at the
I would
second
rip it
omega
apart.
yet? Yeah. Why is there two
yeah,
omegas?
you said this before we went live, 2 omegas. Explain what you mean by that. 2
So
omegas.
if there's two, I'm not the first to say this, but
Right.
someone brought it up to me today, is if this is the case, there's actually 2 hunts or 2 parts to this. I never thought I'd say this. There's 2 parts to, you get the 9 clues, and then when you find it, there is an item unknown that's under the wood that gives you title to something. Subchapter S's, San Lazaro's, $1 million, just a second poem, anything it could be. And Forrest's son-in-law created the compartment that it is in.
All right. So I'm going to play it one more time. Sorry. It's a little loud. Wake up, everybody.
It's not loud on my side.
Okay. For me, it is. So we have the email from Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie. From 2011, where Forrest says the chest does have a thin wooden liner and certainly it will get wet and expand. I thought of that when I was preparing it. So Forrest, that's confirmation. Forrest put the wood in the chest or had somebody put the wood in the chest and prepared it. He knew it was going to get wet. He prepared it. Some things I wanted in the chest were left out because parts of them would rust, like small steel screws on jewelry. And now we have Cynthia, who says that Forrest told her that Shiloh's father, David is his name, he is the one who prepared the wood or gave Forrest the wood or did something for the wood in the chest. We know Shiloh says epic and fun coming in 30 days.
What is in Shiloh's book that he told me?
Right. And that would be awesome. Now it could just be the story of how he did for Forrest, but everybody wants to know, does that mean there's something under that wood or in the wood? If you are brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. So you asked him in our interview, what about stanza 1, 4, 5, and 6? What do they have to do with it? He said he wouldn't answer. And yeah, Dale is looking for another thing when he talked to Shiloh and recorded it. And there it is. We're waiting on Justin to release a video of him opening the bottom of the chest. We all assumed it was the lid. It sounds like it's the bottom that will pop out.
Yeah, if it
There.
the interesting part, she said, however he started it, it slid out. It wasn't like he had to budget, or it was like created to, you know how we have
Yeah.
those little puzzle boxes we do? It sounds like it was like a puzzle box.
Well, that's just it. If there's not screws, like how do you make the wood stay? Do you glue it? Do you nail it? And it's bronze. Well, how do you fasten it? So you just make it tight enough to where it pops in and
The
pops out.
top, the lid has welding, soldered welding, metal, is
Okay.
what Preston said. Because that's the one that's gravity's working against.
You're right. When you
The
lift up the
ones that
lid,
are-
you don't want the wood to fall out. Yeah.
The ones that are down below, you don't have gravity working against it. Maybe it's a notch in. I don't know. I'm not a wood person, like a,
Well, that's Justin's going to show
divot.
us in a video, hopefully.
yes, he
And
is.
Justin, if we got any of this wrong, feel free to go on Twitter and correct it. You know, tell us. Like, you're the one with the chest. You're the one playing with the wood. You're the one that could be brave and in the wood. You're the one that could get the title to the gold, whatever that means. Let us know. Let us know. So, but we did want to go live and put it out there because it is kind of breaking news. It is kind of huge.
It's kind of, it would be even better if we saw the video right now, but I didn't
Yeah, of
want to
course.
tee up and then have you guys wait for another 24 hours. The Dale audio, I think, is pretty big, confirming the second poem, and we're getting a Shiloh interview. That's pretty big, I think. And then there's a ton more stuff that happened in the last week. We're going to save that for tomorrow. This is, I think, the most exciting of anything.
Well, if he opens it and there's nothing there, that would be a sad horn, kind of, but you know, anyway, and maybe Shiloh can clarify if his dad, what involvement his dad had. Cynthia
Okay.
says the sides were made to slide up, not dovetails. When the sides come out, the bottom panel will lift out. So
See, I don't even know what that means, and it sounds exciting. It's not a dovetail. There's no dovetails here. Cynthia, I love you. I have no idea what that means, but yeah. So basically, Mike, the whole thought that there's nothing there, just pooey on you. No, you're wrong.
so interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Now, Idaho Buffalo is saying, wouldn't the family have known about it? That's a good question.
Why
If
would
Forrest put something under the wood, would Shiloh or his dad or any of the Forrest Fenn family known about it? We don't know. There's no way to
Maybe.
answer that.
So now so here's the question. If Zoe knew about it and inventoried it and didn't include it when she knew about it, doesn't that get her in legal situation? So if she knew about the secret compartment, she would have had to, when she was inventorying it, include it on the inventory. I don't think she's going to lie, especially in court affidavits. In my opinion, it means she did not know about it. Maybe Shiloh did, but he wasn't able to actually remove it. Maybe he did remove it and he knows, and that's why he was trying to, like Cynthia said in that voicemail, he was trying to buy the check. Dovetail is a method the corners lock together.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know
so
what
it's
dovetail is. It's
it's
when the
not
corners,
dovetailed.
how the Amish do things. Yeah,
It's not dovetailed, Mike.
that's what Cynthia said.
I know. So since it's
Oh.
not dovetailed,
Trying to put it on me. Okay.
no, it slides up in the secret compartment,
Right.
gives someone millions and quadrillions of dollars. Maybe that's why they have.
Well, Shiloh could talk to his dad and release his own statement that says exactly how they made it. Maybe they made a video of it. Maybe
It's in his book.
Maybe it's going to be in his book. And Shiloh, if that's the case, just say, yeah, wait for the book. And then we'll all buy the book because it's awesome. So, you know, sure, maybe the surprise was ruined a little bit, but I don't know why you wouldn't just come out and say that to begin with. My dad made the wood. We've got a story is going to be in this book. Why would we make us all guess at what it was? It's just me, though. Just me.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to do that tomorrow night. A Just Guide. There's so much that's happened. I have 3 pages of different points. Justin shared inside pictures of the check. Justin gave us some more. I mean, I'm talking lots of little tidbits. There is some other information that I need to put. It's literally just on like note cards right now. I need to get them all together for tomorrow night's show. This kind of came out of nowhere. When you get to your phone and that voicemail's on it, you know, it's been a good day, but we weren't ready for this. So that'll be tomorrow night, talking anything else. There's enough here between Stephanie's email, I think is interesting. Dale's audio, I think is interesting. And Cynthia's voicemail. I mean, those are big ones right there that we can. And now let's go back to November 19. And I'm going to go back through the Douglas Preston interview and just go through it and see. I bet you there's some little tidbits that we missed, not knowing what we know now. That there's a secret compartment underneath the treasure chest wood.
You don't know that. I want to be
don't know
clear.
that.
Cheryl in the chat says, who would have a secret compartment and not put anything in it? We don't know if there's a secret compartment.
you,
All we
Cheryl.
know is
You
the
get me.
wood lifts out of the chest.
we're here.
That's all we know.
Why stanza 5 if there's not something in the wood that gives you?
Well, I
time-
agree with that. I agree with that.
Oh, so it's confirmed. 5
Yeah.
exclamation points
The
confirmed.
title to the gold. Could it be an ownership? Could it just be a note from Forrest saying congratulations? Could it be an ownership thing? I don't know. I don't know. And Mike N says, Cynthia, what else are you not sharing? I thought all the phones had to go in the freezer, but all right. So that's it, everybody. That is the breaking news for tonight, August 20th, 2023. If it's raining where you're at, stay inside if you can. And yeah, we are going to go live tomorrow. We don't know if Justin will put out that video by the time we go live.
No, he
But-
said he was going to be doing it.
Well,
Yes.
Justin, put out the video right before we go live tomorrow so that we'll play it and everybody can see it. Not everybody's on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, and if it drops at, let's say, like noon, we're not going to go live until 6. Everybody digest it.
What?
Yeah, there's Cynthia's answers.
3 days of Dale's stories. So Cynthia will put that out when she decides.
Her head
when to bury
exploded,
it.
she said. She said her head exploded.
Hmm.
It was awesome.
Interesting. Well, the
Yeah.
second poem is huge. I mean, that came from Dale.
Well, and
That's the
hopefully
biggest
we
thing.
have the video from Dale. We may not have it by tomorrow because, or the video from Dale. Shiloh interview. This is huge.
Sounds like he had a conversation with Shiloh and recorded it. So who knows? He said, I can't remember. What did he put it? He said, you wouldn't believe it or something. Dale in the Cynthia audio said
You'd be
something.
surprised what he
You'd be
said.
surprised what he said. That's what he said. You'd be surprised. So, all right, everybody. I think that's it. Unless anybody else has anything else kind of interesting. Thanks to Dale. Thanks to Cynthia for making the trip. You know,
Okay, wait. Dale, Cynthia, Stephanie, Justin.
Shiloh, if he'll confirm
4
it.
searchers by searchers.
Yeah,
Four
that's
searchers.
right. Four searchers.
Searchers are bringing it. Good job, you guys. I just get to communicate. That's all I'm doing is communicating others' messages. You may believe some, you may not. I don't know.
People are so jaded, so negative. Sassy, no, nobody has figured out the Xavier Marks clue yet that we got for Christy kicking my butt in the Venetian scavenger hunt. If you haven't seen that, check our channel. So yeah, we still work. So Xavier Marks works.
I broke up with Xavier Marks. I'm sorry. I can't.
I know.
It's, you know, we get a year and then when the hints can't even be, there's too many, you can't even solve the hints. So it's like, I think it'll be like Beacon Star unless they start giving something. It'll just be out there for years and people will go back to it. I'll probably eventually go back to it. I think there's some people working on it. I think the interest is going down. I mean, you can only stare at pages for so long where everyone in the community doesn't get it for over, 2 years now? And you just say, well, it's just not solvable yet. Maybe they'll kick it loose. Maybe
Until it is.
I don't know. Yeah.
Wow, Nomadic Madman says, thanks for the show. This one in all capitals was pretty good. So if Nomadic Madman says it was pretty good, I think we can all agree. All right.
We
It's-
all agree. You should have named this The Compartment Under the Wood.
I would have said Dale Speaks. That's what I would have titled it, but
Shiloh's interview.
I just do as I'm told.
You
Okay,
never
everybody.
do as you're told.
The wood will have the true GPS. That's funny. What it could be a confirmation of the solve or something. Whatever. We can speculate all day. But Justin, you'll have to let us know
I think Justin owns San Lazaro now.
if you found something or not. Well, no, it would be Jack. The finder owns it. Not
No
the buyer.
way. He bought
Not
it.
the
and he-
buyer, the finder.
Nope. Nope.
Jack, I think, would have a criminal case, not a criminal case, a civil case to say, hey, give that
Baloney.
back.
No, I think Justin was smart enough to say, I am buying this as whole, as is. You have
Right.
no title to this. You weren't smart
It's
enough to
like-
get under that. No.
It's like when you buy a house, you get what's under the house too, in the ground. That's how it works.
Oh, there is
Rights.
there is actually some lawsuits when somebody sells a house and then their Aunt Granny put something behind the wood paneling.
When you buy a house, you get everything in it.
No, okay, you're right. I'm wrong.
Oh, what, you saying they lost?
Yes.
No, you have to show me one of those. Okay. All right, everybody. Let's just wait on Justin and see how it goes. Also wait on Shiloh. Maybe he'll make a statement on these breaking
Okay.
news.
We're waiting on whoever wants to speak out, and it is so awesome that Justin, via Cynthia, and Dale, they're speaking, and this is awesome. Will this make Justin the finder?
Uh,
The finder of the compartment under the chest. I'm going to say it 100 times because Mike hates it.
all right. Okay. All right, Troy. I beware everything you say.
Stop.
Okay, well, that's it,
Okay.
everybody. We thought it was pretty cool. We wanted to go live now instead of waiting till tomorrow. We will go live again tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe and thumbs up and all that fun stuff.
And all 230 of you, thank you for being here.
Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Everybody have a good Sunday night. See ya.